speed, style, and straight up energy. That's Sonic. Whether it's classic chunky Sonic, modern slim Sonic, or whatever this was.
Meow.
Sonic, like Mario, is a true icon, a character that captivated kids and gamers with its screen presence. Running at the speed of light, saving the world, and doing it all with flash. As a Sonic fan, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly across this franchise. But this video is about what Sonic fans miss. Early Sonic. Cool, stylish, bro just had aura. And no, I'm not a fairy. Today we're diving into the music, the rhythm, the creation, and the swagger that made Sonic more than just a hedgehog. No, we are not playing this song. From the late 1980s, Sega found itself chasing Nintendo in the shadow of Super Mario Bros. Nintendo was a top dog, proving the video game industry still had massive room to grow. The NES released in 1985 and dominated the market completely. Sega was watching all of this and knew they needed their own icon. So they tasked Naoto Oshima and Hirokazu Yasuhara with creating a character that could rival Mario. Oshima handled Sonic's visual design, while Yasuhara focused on the game design and level layout. While making the character Sonic, several rules had to be followed. Sonic had to be blue, matching Sega's branding, he had to feel fast, and most importantly, he had to feel cool in a way Mario didn't. After experimenting with different ideas, they landed on a hedgehog, a character that could curl into a ball, roll through levels, and reach speeds players hadn't experienced before. Oshima was also designing Sonic with the American market in mind. The pop, the jazz, everything. This was instilled in Sonic. For instance, Sonic's red shoes were inspired by Michael Jackson's boots from the Bad era, and also took their colors from Santa Claus and Christmas. Sonic's gloves were inspired by the likes of Mario and Disney's Mickey Mouse. And that influence didn't just stop at visuals, it carried straight into the audio side of Sonic. The Sonic team drew heavily on pop, R&B and funk, music built around groove, movement and catchy bass lines. You hear it clearly in tracks like Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant Zone, where fast melodic bass lines and rhythmic loops push the sense of speed forward.
Oh shit, here we go again.
The music wasn't just background noise, it was chosen to match Sonic's personality. Cool, confident, and built to appeal globally. Across Sonic games from the 1990s through the 2000s, that element of Western music inspiration remained a big part of Sonic and his character. Just listen to some of these tracks, and if you listen closely, you can notice some of the similarities.
Obviously due to copyright reasons, I can't play too much, but f it, I'll try. Sonic was a statement that endorsed Western culture, a feat that no other video game character had truly achieved at the time. Sonic had a clear identity, with Sega investing a significant amount of resources into it. As you've seen many times across this video, this was the original Sonic character, quite small, chunky, and looking cute. But over the years, going into the 2000s, Sonic looked like this. Yeah, he must have cut down on some chili dogs and actually grown up. Moving into the 3D world, Sonic's character had to change. The cute, chunky hedgehog wasn't going to cut it anymore. So in 1997, Sega told multiple artists to design a new version of Sonic. Ultimately, 4 Sonic designs were pitted against each other to determine which one would prevail. And wow, there are some interesting designs. I mean, no offense, but what is that? Sega's employees voted internally to decide which Sonic design would represent the future of the franchise. This wasn't just a new look, but rather the direction Sonic would go in, with each design having quite different personalities. And surprise, surprise, if you guessed correctly, the chosen design was number 1 by Yuji Yukawa, who went on to be an absolute GOAT in the Sonic scene. Hello modern Sonic! This new version of Sonic was taller, slimmer, dark in colour, and much more expressive. He wasn't just the fast blue hedgehog with a personality around him, but rather, he was the personality. He finally felt like a character that perfectly matched what Sega was aiming for. And that timing mattered. The Dreamcast launched in Japan in late 1998 and in the US and elsewhere in 1999. Sega leaned fully into a more mature, swagger-heavy identity, and Sega's golden child Sonic followed suit. This version of Sonic became the face of that era. He was the front and center in the Dreamcast marketing and for his own game, Sonic Adventure. And honestly, look at some of the renders that were made during this time. Holy peak. With all thanks to Yuji Yukawa's art direction, Sonic finally found his identity.
Can we get much higher?
Those clean silhouettes, exaggerated poses, and confident expressions
Good boy.
didn't just redefine the Blue Hedgehog. They became Sega's entire visual language for Sonic throughout the 2000s, with traces of that influence still visible today. Sonic suddenly felt like the more appealing character compared to the likes of Mario, Kirby, Link, through the visual and audio side with his personality. That early 2000s edge, the swagger, the speed, the vibe, it all clicked. Sonic wasn't just a mascot anymore, he was the attraction, and consumers loved it. While Sega as a company began to struggle and the Dreamcast ultimately failed, Sonic himself flourished. Once Sega exited the console market, Sonic appeared everywhere. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, he became universal. Sonic never ultimately reached Mario's absolute heights, but he wasn't far off either. Throughout the 2000s, Sonic was a genuine household name. And I know I said this before, but the aura is honestly unmatched. So, what changed?
Untouchable is my middle name.
I thought your middle name was The.
There were many reasons as to why Sega went away from this, but one was simply the audience changed. Sega's target audience has always been kids, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, kids were increasingly interested in more mature themes. The internet was rising, goth, rock, and gritty themes were on the climb, characters needed personality to connect, and Sonic fit that world perfectly. However, as the years progressed, especially heading into the 2010s, that shifted. Kids' media became brighter, safer, and more neutral. And with that, Sonic and Sega followed. Just look at the vast changes across the eras. Compare Sonic Adventure 2 from the 2000s to Sonic Boom, released over a decade later. The difference is obvious. The maturity was gone, the attitude was softened, the character was safer. And let's not forget one of the clearest reflections of that era's mindset. The game Shadow the Hedgehog. A Sonic game with guns? Could you imagine Sega releasing that now? They would actually have a heart attack. Shadow the Hedgehog's character is a perfect snapshot of where Sega was at the time. Introduced in 2001 as a character aimed at a more mature, early 2000s audience, he represents that darker, grittier direction Sega was willing to explore. And in many ways, that's exactly why he's been pushed aside as of late. Despite still existing within the Sonic universe, even with the recent release of Sonic X Shadow Generations, you can argue that before this title, Shadow hasn't had a truly major defining role in a Sonic game since Sonic 06, which is now 20 years ago. That 2000s era was Sega pushing character and personality as far as they could. However, over time, modernization and brand safety stripped away many of these distinct traits. And with that, Sonic slowly lost the characteristics that made him feel alive. To me, that was always the shame of it. Sonic started as Sega's answer to Mario with more attitude, more edge, more personality. Now, he's treated much the same way Mario is. An icon first, a character second. And that's not bad. I love both Mario and Sonic, but Sonic was great in his own right. As a fan of Sega and gaming as a whole, it's quite unusual to see a character change so much. Recognizable, marketable, but not as emotionally distinct as he once was. Who knows, maybe one day, the Sonic we truly fell in love with comes back. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Hello, it's Future Mental here, and I just wanted to come out and just thank you for watching if you made it this far to the video. This video was meant to release like maybe around a week ago now, but just due to some difficulties, it came out now. I hope you enjoyed the video again. If you did, please do like and subscribe, as it would mean the world to me. Your boy is back. Obviously, different type of content, different type of, sphere. But I hope, you enjoy the thing, I hope at least. There is content coming on the way soon. So there is some new, fresh things that are on this way. I've been cooking some stuff. I can't tell you when exactly it's going to come out, but it's going to come out at some point. You know what? Enough said. I think I've said too much. I hope the rest of your day goes great. And till next time, and it won't be long, I can tell you that.